Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a review on the Becca Ultimate Cream Coverage Complexion Foundation, which is a mouthful, by the way. This foundation is not new. It is just new to my channel. I've actually had this foundation for quite some time now. I would say about 4 to 5 months. I got this foundation the end of summer going into fall and fell in love with it. Let's go ahead and get into the review of this foundation because I feel like I owe this to you guys, especially like on some of my social media platforms. You guys have been asking what's the new foundation routine, what's the new makeup routine. So yeah, I just want to talk to you guys about the foundation I've been wearing lately that you guys have been really loving as well. I put this foundation on today around 12 o'clock and it is now 7:22. I did not touch up at all. I did set the foundation earlier with the Makeup Forever Duo Matte Powder. However, I am still oily. I'm not as oily, but I'm definitely oily in my T-zone area, as you can see. So I've had this foundation on for about 6 hours and this is pretty much how it looks. It's pretty much intact. It did not sit in any of my smile lines, which I hate, by the way. And also the simple fact that it did not separate, even though I'm very oily. I really do like that. Sometimes I'll use a foundation and later in the day I will see that it has kind of separated throughout my face because of my oil, and I really do love that with this foundation that did not happen. She really did an amazing job with coming up with this formula. This is pretty much a high-end foundation. This is not a drugstore foundation. This foundation, I believe, was around $40 to $42. I did pick it up at Sephora, and I think they sell Becca at Ulta. I'm not quite sure because I'm not a Ulta shopper. So I'm going to just talk about the pros and the cons with this foundation because there is some cons with this foundation. But I'll just go ahead and start off with the pros. Number one, I love any foundation that caters to all skin tones. I love that. I love when a company takes out the time to recognize and research and orchestrate colors, different shades and different tones and different undertones. I love when a company takes out the time to understand skin tones. So with the Becca foundation, she definitely has a huge variety of shades that is available. This foundation is a very full coverage foundation. While though I don't have a lot of imperfections or hyperpigmentations, I do like to go for a more fuller coverage foundation, especially when I am either going to work or I'm going somewhere where I really need my foundation to stay intact and pretty much last all day. If you are that girl who loves medium or sheer coverage foundation, this foundation is not for you at all. This is a full coverage foundation that starts off full coverage. Your first layer will be full coverage. It pretty much reminds me of the Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, but a little bit more lighter than the Double Wear. However, I will say, even though this foundation is full coverage, it is very light on the skin. It feels very airy. It's very breathable. You don't feel like there's anything crawling on your skin. So that is a huge thing, and I have not experienced any type of breakouts. I have very sensitive hormonal acne skin. With this particular foundation, it does semi-control oil. I won't say it controls the oil completely. It is a long wearing foundation. I will agree with that. This foundation did pretty much last me all day. I've worn this foundation for 6 hours to 8 hours. I've even worn it for 4 hours. Because this is a higher end foundation, I definitely wouldn't wear this for like an everyday purpose of just, you know, running some errands here and there. This is a foundation that works really good for a special place that you're going, or you're going to be somewhere where there's a little bit of humidity, or you want your pictures to be really nice. This is a wonderful foundation that has not failed me yet. Another pro that I do like about this foundation is that it comes with a pump. You guys know that I am always super excited about foundations that come with a pump. To me, it's more convenient. You don't have to worry about wasting product. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves when I buy products that does not come with some sort of applicator or pump, is I'm wasting product. And the simple fact that if I put too much on my hand, and I don't use it and I have to pour it back into the foundation, that irks me, and I don't think that's the best sanitary thing to do, especially if you have acne skin. That just seems like you're putting germs in your foundation after you have it on your hand, you know. And I do like the cream consistency as well. It blends really, really nice into the skin. However, I will say this particular foundation for me blends better with a beauty blender. I do not like the finished result with using a foundation brush with this foundation. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was my technique. Maybe it was the brush that I used. But I did not like using my foundation brush, which is the Sephora 91 brush. Hated the look of that. So I always use a damp beauty blender to blend out the foundation. So let's get to the cons, okay? Honestly, there's not too many cons, but there are cons. The packaging. I'm not a huge fan of the packaging. And I say that I'm not a huge fan of this foundation packaging is because I don't know if you guys can see, but it's pretty dirty right now. And it just comes from me having product on my hand that then transfers onto this bottle. So that's why I say it reminds me so much of the NARS packaging, because it gets dirty so fast. And I also don't like that I cannot see how much foundation I have left. One thing I did notice too when I was taking the pump off is the applicator or the tube doesn't go all the way in the foundation. So I'm wondering, you know, am I going to get my full money's worth when it comes to this product getting low? And of course, like I said, I know you can pour it onto your hand, but I don't want to have to do that. I want to be able to use this pump, and I really think that it should come with a longer tube so it can get all of the foundation or a majority of the foundation out of the bottle. The foundation does oxidize. I would strongly recommend that you go a shade lighter. So anytime you're in a situation where you cannot make a decision on what's the right shade, what's the wrong shade, always go for the lightest shade, because you can always darken that foundation up by adding powders and contour and other things on top of that to get a more truer color. I will say, if I had to recommend this foundation, I would definitely recommend it. So if you're interested in picking up this foundation, you can find it at your local Sephora. Again, they have a very wide selection of colors. I would definitely suggest that you go into your local store and find your shade, because these shades can be very, very tricky. If you guys like videos like this, I will try to do more foundation review videos for you guys. So yeah, this pretty much wraps up the review of the Becca foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful for you guys picking out a next foundation to try out. Thank you, and I appreciate you guys for watching and supporting me, and I will see you guys in the next video.